friends, we're back once again at Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Pearl is back in the house, the bride with pride. And we've got Bones over here. Bones has returned. They've been asking about you, Bones. I don't know where is Igor today. He's
taking a break.
We had to install a video camera, which is constant surveillance of the lampitic compression unit.
Yes.
To see if he's messing around with that again.
Exactly. Right. So if we hear the alarms, we gotta go.
Well, did you see what happened the last time he brought something to life in the laboratory?
Rough.
Huh?
Rough.
Yeah, it was rough. Anyway, tonight's movie might be a little bit rough. Might be rougher for the bride, though.
Yeah.
Yes, because tonight's horrifying melodrama is called Bride of the Gorilla. I don't know. Well, boy, I'm sorry.
Bride might get the short end of the stick.
The short end of the stick.
You can't win them all. You can't win them all.
What happens if you have both hands on each end of the stick? That's another story.
It's another story altogether.
Crimson Theater. No. Well, we've got Bride of the Gorilla, and we've got a famous star from the Godzilla movie. What's his name? Perry Mason. What was his real name?
Shoot.
Raymond Burr.
I know.
Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr. Thank you. There are people out there watching this horrifying experience, but Raymond Burr, who starred in Godzilla, and I need to find a Godzilla expert about the original film. In the helicopter scene, do you remember that? There's a flash where they go to the helicopter scene, and Raymond Burr is sitting next to an Oriental gentleman, and it goes to the scene, and first thing you see, he's kind of like buttoning his pants. What's going on there? Leave it to our own Jason Campolo to notice that. But yes, he was in to buffer down the original Godzilla film because it would have been too much. I think you got to figure there were veterans that had just come from World War II and Korea, and they having a Japanese movie was not something that would probably have worked as well without putting American in there. And they did the same thing with King Kong. Remember those two knuckleheads?
Oh, God.
Godzilla's brain is the size of this marble, while Kong has a much bigger brain. And then the doctor that's saying that, I don't know his name for sure, but I was told he was very popular back in the day from doing diarrhea commercials. I wish we had the original Kong because they got these guys in a newsroom, right? And they've got these maps that are of the world on the wall that they just glued. They were like, you could see the lines in them like they're holding up like a map you'd get to the Wisconsin, at a gas station. And they plucked them up there, and anyway. Crazy. So yeah, Raymond Burr, also Ironside. Remember Ironside? He was the detective in the wheelchair. I saw several episodes of that. Yeah. The 70s was weird for really weird named detective shows. Columbo.
Yeah.
Cannon.
Strange one-word names. Kind of didn't mean anything. Kind of did.
I don't know. That was a 70s twist there, but interesting stuff. But yes, Raymond Burr, Bride of the Gorilla, and I don't know if he's the gorilla. I don't know. They might have made up for makeup on that. I'm not sure, but yeah. Well, you got to take the good with the bad. That's what they tell me all the time. So as far as movies go, you see some of that little stink bombs they're playing in Chicago. So it comes with the territory. So get right into it. Bride of the Gorilla on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
lush, green, alive with incredible growth, as young as day, as old as time. I, Terrell, police commissioner of Itnan County, which borders the Amazonas River, know it as well as any man will ever know it. Isn't it beautiful? But I have also learned that beauty can be venomous, deadly, something terrifying, something of prehistoric ages when monstrous superstitions ruled the minds of men. Something that has haunted the world for millions of years rose out of that verdant labyrinth. Let me tell you how the jungle itself took the law into its own hands. This was Van Gelder Manor, built to stand against the searing sun, built to shelter generations of Van Gelders. It also has become prey to the powers of the jungle, the terrifying strength that arose to punish a man for his crime.
Hello, Barney.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Van Gelder. It's been an unpleasant day. Your husband pays me to run his plantation, not to be killed by the heat.
It's part of the job.
Rubber's going up in price every day. I can't get enough workmen. When I do, they run away to go into business for themselves. Now, when they had slaves.
Are we all slaves?
Sure.
Not me. I'm free.
You call this freedom? With bars in front of the windows?
No, thank you, Lorena.
This is no place for a beautiful woman. A woman like you ought to travel, wear pretty clothes, have some fun. Life runs away too fast if you don't hold on to it with both hands.
My life is here with my husband. After all, he did offer to share his name and his home with me.
You're confusing gratitude with love, Mrs. Van Gelder. There are other things much more important. A woman wants to be loved.
Hello, Klaus. Hello, Doctor.
Nice to see you, Dina. I was looking for you, Barney. You should have been at the warehouse.
The heat got me down, Mr. Van Gelder.
There was an accident, Barney. A man got hurt.
They always get hurt. That's the chance they take.
This one died. Would have died if you'd been there.
I can't be in two places at the same time.
Don't fight before dinner.
Pardon me, Dina.
White people shouldn't live too long in the jungle. Brings out their bad side, their jealousies, impatience. Klaus isn't well. I told you, it's his low blood pressure. You can hardly hear his heartbeat.
I haven't had a chance for quite a while to get that close to his heart.
Dina, it's his complaint that you neglect him. You don't understand him.
Does he try to understand me? He's only too happy being left alone. He likes to read his books without me around to bother him. If you were married, you'd act differently, wouldn't you, Viet?
I was married once. Long ago.
You wouldn't know either, would you, Barney?
Come again?
I was just talking about marriage. What do you think about marriage?
Marriage is a contract. A civil contract, isn't it?
You mean it has nothing to do with love?
It's a relation either of sympathy or of conquest. But every couple isn't a pair.
You must have read that someplace.
Sure. Everybody knows I can't think of anything clever.
I, too, am not clever, Barney. But I know where to find wisdom. Thank you, Along. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
had a case of smallpox down in the harbor, Klaus. I think it'd be wise to inoculate all your workers.
You know about the complaint of that worker and his daughter?
It's my own business, Mr. Van Gilder.
You're living in my house. I demand that you conduct yourself accordingly. You've not done so. You can pick up your pay and leave.
It's all right with me.
What's the matter? What are you mad at Barney for?
I don't want him here any longer.
Do you mind if I have my dinner first?
Excuse me, will you?
Stay here.
What's gotten into him?
I'll find out.
Did you pick a fight with Claus today?
No. But I'm old enough not to be pushed around by anyone. I don't like his spies. That old woman, Al Long. 10 to 1, she gives him a report every day. I want to be treated right, that's all. Just because he has money doesn't mean he owns me.
Don't go away. Don't leave.
That's all I need to know.
Barney,
What do you want?
don't go away.
Talk to Van Gelder. Ask him to change his mind.
You take me with you. Remember, you promised.
I don't even know where I'm going.
I don't care. I just want to be with you. You said you'd never leave me. Why did you say it?
Because you wanted to hear it.
You want to take dinner with you.
Be quiet. Now leave me alone.
You shouldn't excite yourself.
What do you want me to do? Smile? Keep my eyes shut?
You do love her, don't you?
Without her, I have nothing.
You got rid of Barney Chavez, that was right. But still, I'd take her away from here. It's the climate. A woman buried in a place like this, you must understand if she gets a little mixed up.
You too like her, don't you?
Of course. She looks good to any man. That's a compliment to you. Listen to who's giving advice. My private life isn't perfect either. But then, I live alone, so nobody cares. That makes the whole difference.
Barney Chavez is like a beast. An animal with animal instincts. I never thought, Tina, it would come to this.
You better go to bed. I should, too. I don't like to see you taking so little care of yourself. But you'll be all right.
Thank you, Viet. Good night.
Good night.
Marina. Marina, what happened? Talk to me, my child.
Barney, he lied to me. He doesn't love me anymore.
I want you to stay with your people. But he will never hurt you again. Never.
What are you doing here?
Waiting. I wanted to talk to you.
I don't care to listen to anything you have to say.
You chose your time to talk, Van Gelder, in the presence of your wife, your doctor, and your servants. What I have to say, I wanted to say to you alone.
All right. Go on.
I've done a lot of good work for you.
Anything else?
You read from the Bible tonight, Van Gelder. But you didn't finish what you were reading.
I thought I'd made myself clear.
It goes on. Let them be confounded that persecute me. Bring upon them the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction.
I'm glad you remember something out of the Bible.
A man sometimes gets in a spot where he has to make a big decision, Van Gelder.
My decision's been made.
Mine, too. You're standing in my way. And Dina's.
Did she ask you to tell me that?
We love each other. What are you going to do about it? I want to talk to you.
You've been hurt.
I'm leaving in the morning. You're coming with me.
Let's tell Klaus. I'm not afraid to talk to him.
He can't hold you here. This isn't a prison.
Where'll we go?
Does it matter? I can get a job any place.
Nobody will hire you around here. They all know Klaus. And they stick together, you know that.
The world's a lot bigger than this jungle.
Barney, I'm afraid.
You'll be happy. I promise you. You'll be happy.
Shall be the murderer these eyes have seen. Cursed shall be Barney Chavez. He shall be like an enemy that haunt in the jungle. Jungle shall haunt him to his death.
You insist, Mr. Chavez, that the last time you saw Mr. Van Gelder was in this room?
You have it in writing.
Yet footprints the size and shape of your own were found near the body. Are you sure that you weren't in the garden last night?
Why don't you come right out with what you want to say, Commissioner? Why don't you ask me if I killed Klaus Van Gelder? You know I had a quarrel with him. You got witnesses for that, haven't you?
I have, that's true. But the evidence I have is not strong enough to bring charges against you. What is your opinion, Dr. Viet?
Klaus Van Gelder died from shock and suffocation caused by snake venom. He was a sick man. It may well have been that he had a fainting spell in the garden and the snake attacked him. Anyway, that's my official report.
And your private opinion?
My private opinion is of no value.
It might have been that during a struggle, Mr. Chavez knocked Mr. Van Gelder down. The snake bit him. These reptiles often attack when frightened.
The doctor just told you Van Gelder died of suffocation caused by snake poison. That is official, isn't it?
You have a discoloration on your jaw. A fight, perhaps?
Yes, with one of my men.
What about?
Why don't you stick to the point? Why don't you arrest me?
I would, but for one thing. These leaves. They come from a plant called the Pédiguin, the plant of evil. Do you know about such a plant?
No.
These leaves worry me. They're used to put an evil spell on people.
Now listen, Taro, don't accuse me of using magic.
I don't. Along, would you come here, please? I want you to answer me truthfully. What do you know about Mr. Van Gelder's death?
He was bit by the snake.
He was? How do you know?
I saw it.
You did? Then did you also see Mr. Chavez?
No. He was in Mrs. Van Gelder's room all the time.
Is this true, Mrs. Van Gelder?
Yes. He came to say goodbye.
Dina. Well, this would seem to prove that Mr. Chavez had nothing to do with Mr. Van Gelder's death. How long? Where is the plant that these leaves came from? You know it's against the law to own such a plant. It's dangerous poison.
You can't make her talk, Taro, unless she wants to. You know that.
Oh, I know. I guess we'll have to search her room. Nato, take Al Long to her room and search it for a Pays de Guine plant. As you say, there's no use asking her questions. I sometimes feel as though I don't even speak my own people's language. Since I became an official, I seem to be standing outside their code of law. The inquest is closed.
It's here, in the chest. Would you like to have such a plan for your own?
It's against the law.
It wards of sickness, keeps away the evil spirit, brings money into the house.
I must destroy it, Al Long.
But his power also brings evil. If you hurt it, you are cursed. Your wife will fall sick, your children die. I bring such a plan to your house tonight.
No, I don't want it. I don't believe in black magic.
Don't tell anybody I have such a plan.
No, I won't. But you keep away from my house. I don't want witches near my children.
Hello. Thanks.
I'm glad Al Long saw it happen. I didn't want you to get involved.
That was lucky, wasn't it?
Don't go away.
I won't. You know that.
Oh, Pays de Guine, cloud his mind, change banish Chavez into an animal. In his eyes he shall be an animal. He shall be an animal in the animal's eyes.
Hello, Tara. Dr. Jett. Hello. Mr. Van Gelder. It's quite a time. Cigarette?
Is this your first marriage, Mr. Chavez?
My father used to say, try everything once. Once I marry, I'll stay married.
I've been married for 26 years. I keep my marriage going. My wife does the rest, and believe me, we both have to work at it.
Is it really true you've been a dancer? Stella, it's not polite to ask questions.
Why not, Mrs. Van Huysen? Yes, I've worked all over the world. Rio, London, Paris.
I've never been to a nightclub. It must be exciting.
quartermaster.
May I drink? May I drink to you, neighbor? We're only 40 miles apart. That's practically door to door in this part of the world.
Well, I see you're getting service in your house.
Here's to good service.
I'm very unlucky. Every time I meet an attractive man, he's either married or just going to be married.
Better luck next time. Excuse me, Doctor. From now on, it'll just be you and me. Nothing else matters. Nothing. Promise?
Yes, I do.
I've come a long way to find you.
What's all that about? Mr. Schiff, the papers are prepared. All you have to do is sign them and pay for the government stamp.
Every step in life starts with paying money. No, you sign first. I'm afraid you might change your mind.
How shall I sign? My maiden name?
Your legal name, Van Gelder. Barney, let me in. What happened?
Close the door. It's my hand.
What's the matter? Let me see. I don't see anything wrong with it.
It's all right. Yes, it's all right. But it hurt. Suddenly, it hurt bad.
Where did it hurt? In the fingers or...
I'm all right, don't worry. I'm all right.
Let's go back.
No, Tell him I got sick. Tell him I got a fever. Tell him anything you want.
You better lie down. I'll send Dina in.
No, I don't want to see anyone.
You're sure you don't want to see him?
No. No, leave me alone, will you?
All right.
Don't you like me?
Of course I like you.
Pour me a glass.
Sure.
Something's bothering you. You sorry you married me?
No. Why should I be? I never thought I'd have such a beautiful life.
But you've changed so much.
Oh, no, I haven't. I haven't changed. Listen, Dina. Listen.
What is it?
The jungle.
Close the door. I don't want to hear it.
Sounds like music. You hear that? You hear that high sound? That's a bird with long red feathers. It flies without making a noise. But its voice gives it away.
I know it. It's a vicuna bird.
I even hear the snakes. I have to leave.
Barney, you've got a fever.
No, I haven't. But I have to leave.
Well, you can't go in the jungle at this time of night.
You hear them? Dina. Go to bed, Dina. I'll be back soon.
If you love me, don't go.
I'll be back.
Barney, you can't leave me. Barney!
Well, this movie's definitely taken us where many movies have and haven't, I guess. Gorilla movies. Yes. We
Very
could do
interesting.
well, we had King Kong Escapes last week, so, keeping in the fashion of a monkey business, which is so popular with King Kong movies and Planet of the Apes in the theaters and all that
King
sort of
Kong versus Godzilla.
Uh-huh. The original King Kong versus Godzilla was actually meant to be a comedy.
Yeah.
And then the Americans rerouted it with the diarrhea guy. And
it's got to be serious now. Yeah.
well,
Diarrhea guys.
they had to figure out how to make it a little more crappy than what they had to begin with. So, King Kong versus Godzilla, the original one, still a classic. I still get a kick out of it. I love that Godzilla design for the original King Kong versus Godzilla, definitely. But yeah, it was even meant to be a comedy in Japan, so somehow they made it into, well, I remember the TV Guide would say about King Kong versus Godzilla, they said it was a tongue-piercing cheek monster mash collage of monsters or something like that.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty more lighthearted horror movie.
Yeah, very, very good. And the only reason we're talking about that is because we have Raymond Burr, the star of the very first Americanized Godzilla, which the film is obviously much better without him. If you see the Japanese cut, I think any intelligent person would agree. But they just probably didn't know what to do with it, but they had such a spectacular hit on their hands with this Godzilla movie that they had them dub it and do what they did with it.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, though.
I mean, I guess it's like having Chris Pine as Mario. It's like a Butts in Seats name. It's a Butts in Seats.
Okay, you say
Sure.
so. Igor has a cousin.
Does he?
Yeah, Seymour.
Seymour
Butts. We don't see him around too much, but I have a feeling he's going to show his face one of these days.
Sure, I'll meet the guy.
Terrible conditions here on, Igor's family. I mean,
of course.
I think I used too much DNA from too many other bodies when I created Igor in the lab.
Abnormal.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lampini was he was present during the resurrection of Igor a few times, and that might have also had an effect on the lampitic compression unit, or just the pure compression of Lampini. Period. Toxic energy and gases might have influenced Igor's feeble little brain. Possibly. But anyway, you're going to get right back into it now. That's enough of this chitter chatter. Bride of the Gorilla. Why not? On Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
quickly.
Oh, these are my hands. It's not my arms, not my eyes. It's not my face.
Hello, Dina.
I thought you'd never get here.
It was 100 miles away. How long's it been like this?
Ever since I found him in the garden.
When was that?
6 hours ago.
Oh, he must have a fever.
Oh, my hands, they hurt. They hurt.
Yes, he complained about his hands before.
But the things he says don't make sense.
Things he says in his fever? Of course not.
The face. Face in the water. Face. Watch out!
That's all we can do for him now. He'll sleep now. Give him quinine when he wakes up. Happy?
Very. Barney loves me. That's the difference between my 2 marriages. And I love him.
Klaas was my friend.
What do you want me to say? I've already told you I'm unhappy about that he had to die such a horrible death.
At such a convenient time.
Yes, at such a convenient time. Klaas died of shock and suffocation. Or would you like to change your diagnosis?
I know the cause of Klaas's death, but not the motive.
An accident. How long saw it happen?
She may have been lying.
It was an accident.
It must have been, since Barney was in your room at the time.
And you wish that wasn't the truth?
Yes.
A woman always knows a man's feelings about her. It's no use, Viet. Barney's my husband, for better or for worse.
Dina. Barney's going to be all right. I'll stop by in a few days. You know where to find me if you need me.
Thank you, Viet.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, Tara. Hello, Doctor. Come in. Am I interrupting important affairs of state?
No. Sit down. Make yourself comfortable. Eso es todo.
Sí, señor.
Have you heard of this big cat that's supposed to be around?
Of course. Some say it's a puma. Others a giant ape. And still others say it's the sukarat.
A sukarat? That's a new kind of animal to me.
That's a famous jungle demon that tears living animals to shreds with its claws and then feeds upon them. Has been known to attack humans also.
Well, it hasn't so far, I hope.
No, but I'm sure it will.
You're sure?
Someone will use this rumor to kill somebody. Blame it on the sukarat. It's happened before.
It has?
I closed the Van Gelder case today, officially. Death due to suffocation caused by snake venom. That's your report, Doctor. It's not my opinion. But of course, my opinion doesn't seem to carry much weight in this case.
After all, you're only the police commissioner. Who would be interested in your opinion?
You know, Doctor, I was born in this little town.
I know.
I sometimes regret that I went to university and then returned to this jungle with its superstitions. It only served to confuse me.
You never impressed me that way, Taro.
How can I help being confused? My native mind is filled with these superstitions. My legal mind was developed through books written by people without emotion.
Yes, but justice must detach itself from emotion.
Oh, that I realize. But I know that Barney Chavez murdered Van Gelder. I know it emotionally. I should arrest that man and charge him with murder.
Why don't you?
The case I have is not tight enough to get a conviction. I know that Al Long lied to protect him. But I also know that he cannot escape punishment.
Why?
The Sukarat.
The Sukarat? The jungle demon? Oh, Starro, you're joking. You don't mean it.
Barney Chavez will be brought to justice. The jungle will see to that.
Well, the longer I live here, the less I understand you people.
Drop in again, Doctor. Hello? This is the commissioner. Oh, Mr. Van Huysen. On your plantation? It's killed already? Oh, this is serious. Yes, I'll be right over. Immediately. Goodbye. Senorita, mi pistola.
What's all that about?
3 rubber tappers have already seen the Sukharov.
They have?
I told you it would be like this. And here it is. It's killed already. Next time, it might be a human.
What does it look like, this mystical animal?
It takes various forms. But seriously, Doctor, why don't you come along? Talk to the people that have seen it. It'll enlarge your knowledge, and we might need a man of your profession about.
Oh, I wouldn't miss having a look at it for the world.
If these fools hadn't trampled all over the place like a herd of elephants, we would have found footprints.
Neck's been broken, teeth marks, hide's been torn to shreds.
You, come over here. Did you see this animal?
Yes, I have seen the animal.
Was it the jaguar?
No. No, Doctor. It was huge and red.
Red?
Yes. It has a head like a man and teeth like an alligator.
What did I tell you, Doctor? The Sukharov.
That it was. My wife saw it too. For a couple of nights, it was sneaking around our hut. It walks in his hind legs.
Like a man?
No. Like a beast that walks like a man. Oh, that terrible voice. Not only I have heard it. My friends here have heard it too.
Well, there's only one thing to do. Set traps and see if we can catch the beast.
We have put many traps, all along the clearing and in the jungle.
Well, what did you use for bait?
Young goats.
Well, if you catch the Sukharov, just call me. I'll sell it to a circus and make a fortune.
glad you came. I was scared.
Of what?
I don't know. Somebody was here.
Tell me who.
I don't know. I don't know.
What did you shoot at?
I don't know.
Easy, Taro, easy. Nerves are on edge.
Where's Mr. Chavez?
Out in the jungle. I haven't seen him since last night.
In the jungle?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. What's he doing in the jungle?
Hunting.
Hunting? He didn't take his gun along.
He hasn't need one.
We came to warn him that the rubber tappers have set traps in the jungle.
What for?
There's a strange animal about. It's killed many cattle already.
What kind of a beast?
It's an unusual animal. It walks on its hind legs. Don't forget. Warn Mr. Chavez to be careful of traps when he goes in the jungle.
Oh, come, Taro. Next thing you're going to say is that Ban is the jungle demon, the Sukarath.
The Sukarath is only a symbol.
What are you talking about?
You better take Barney away from here.
And what if he doesn't want to go?
He'll go if I ask him. But I wish I knew what he was doing out there.
Mrs. Chavez, the next time he goes into the jungle, why don't you accompany him and find out? But if you should, be sure and go well armed.
In here. I can't get out.
Your leg.
I can't get out. Give me that gun. Just don't stand there. Give me the gun.
Stay here. I'll get help.
No.
You're hurt. Let me cut off your boot.
Here. Hold on, please.
Now, did you want to help me out at the inquest, or... Where's Lorena? I haven't seen her.
You mustn't get up.
I'm all right. That old woman really knows her stuff. Much better than your quack doctor.
I think I'd better call my quack doctor just to make sure.
No, I don't want you to talk to him. I don't want you to talk to anybody. I told you nobody should know.
Why not? It's not your fault. Anybody could have stepped into that trap.
No. Anyone but me would have known.
What do you mean?
I heard something. Something I never heard before. Something strange and beautiful. A voice calling me. I couldn't resist going out there. I couldn't resist getting closer and closer. The next thing I knew, I was in a trap.
Oh, let's go away.
I wanted to right after class. Right after. But I didn't dare. The people...
I don't care what the people say or think about us. The past can't hurt us once we're out of here.
Let's leave right away. Tomorrow. Remember I told you once a woman like you ought to travel. Let's go to Paris. I've never been there. I'll buy you clothes in Paris, and then we'll go to London.
And I'll buy you clothes in London. Bonnie, I love you. Please don't let anything happen to us.
Darling.
What is it?
It's nothing, only... Yeah, come here. All my life I've had to fight. As long as I could remember. I knew I'd get hurt if I ever stopped fighting. But with you in my arms...
As long as you hold me. As long as we're together.
I know. I love you, Dina. For the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of saying it. To you, or to myself. I love you.
I'll never forget. Never.
I'll never give you the chance. I'll always be there reminding you. Always.
Always.
Valerie Chavez. He is an enemy in his eyes.
Sorry to see you leave, Barney.
I haven't left yet, Doctor. I'm still around.
Where are you going to live? I hear Dina's mad about Rio.
We haven't made up our minds.
Don't question him, Doctor, or he might reconsider selling the plantation.
I don't think so. The papers are already drawn. Taro will be here any moment to notarize them.
You can rely on Taro. He's around when you need him, or when he thinks he should be around.
He has an intuitive sense. It's quite uncanny.
There he is. Talk about him and he pops up. It never fails. How can you stand the jungle this long, Doctor?
I can't. But I signed a government contract for 5 years. It'll be over soon. Say, let me have a look at you.
What's the matter?
Your eyes, the pupils, they worry me.
There's nothing wrong with me. How are you, Commissioner?
Oh, as well as can be expected. I'll be glad when the rains come, though. Well, I have the papers all drawn up. All they lack is your signature.
I hope these are the final papers I must sign.
We do not sign the final papers.
That's right. I sign them. I'm the coroner.
Exactly.
This is all, madame.
Those things in the chair are for you, Lorena.
Thank you, madame, but Alain doesn't like me to wear this kind of clothes.
Then throw them away. Come in. Hello, Doctor.
Now I'm sure you're leaving. I didn't quite believe it before.
You didn't?
No, words often don't mean much, but when you see it, why,
Well, you'll be seeing us in Rio. Didn't you tell me you were leaving the government service?
yes, in a few months.
This is for you, Lorena. I think you'll find use for it someday.
Isn't that the dress you wore when you married Klaus?
Yes. That's why I want to get rid of it. Past is dead, Viet. Stone dead. And I don't want to be reminded of it.
I'd like to speak to you alone for a few minutes.
What's the matter with you?
I'm sorry, madame.
That's all, Lorena. What's wrong? You look serious.
I'm worried.
About me?
No. About Barney. He's not well.
It's the fever. He'll be all right once we get out of here.
Tell me, Dina, does he take drugs?
Quinine, that's all.
I watched him today. His eyes.
What's the matter with his eyes?
Dilation of the pupil. Certain drugs cause optical atrophy, sympathetic irritation, or weakness of the ocular nerve.
I don't understand a word.
He looks to me like a man who's been poisoned.
Poisoned?
I'm sure of it. I'd like to examine him, but...
He'd never stand for that.
I know. It's almost impossible to make a diagnosis without chemical analysis. But all the symptoms seem to point to the fact that...
Wait here. I'll get him.
Here I am with $100,000 in cash in my pocket, waiting for a man to pick it up.
Have you seen Barney?
Have we seen Barney? We thought he was with you.
No, the last time I saw him, he was talking to you. How long?
Where is Mr. Chavez?
He went away.
Went away.
I saw him crossing the garden for the jungle.
Well, he should be back soon.
Well, I hope you're enjoying tonight's horrifying, I don't know exactly what it is, guerrilla film.
Guerrilla romance.
Guerrilla romance, okay.
So what exactly are we dealing here with? Is this like a were-gorilla situation?
What's that?
Like a were-gorilla?
I think it is a wearable gorilla. They're all, gorilla suits. But it's amazing how many cheap horror films just threw a gorilla in there for the monster, I mean, even Bela Lugosi's House of Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Goes back to Poe.
It does go back to Poe, so there is some poetic justice here in Bride of the Gorilla. Not a whole lot of it, but there's a tad bit, I think.
It's a metaphor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is one of those movies, what can we say? Made for Crimson Theater, perhaps?
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, we did lose Roger Corman. I know we did a little bit of a salute to the man who made 100 movies in Hollywood, never lost a dime. I mean, that guy was incredible. But I think really what was happening, well, actually a lot of guys, some of these directors were coming back from the war and whatnot and wanted to get into films and whatnot. And, I imagine if there was a bunch of old movie equipment left over that nobody, they had access to this older equipment that they filmed these things in black and white. And of course, with the late night drive-in theater circuit, audiences were just hungry for some movies that they probably would never have paid attention to.
Right.
And didn't. I miss the Kino Outdoor.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of the employees out at the Kino Outdoor, and well, yes, there were stories, definitely, about drive-in shenanigans. But
I'm sure, definitely.
that was fun. We missed that, and they tore it down, and now we have no drive-in, and that's the way things go. And drive-in movie theaters across the country, unfortunately, are vanishing left and right, and it really was like one of the last vestiges of a family experience. And the good old days when they'd have Dusk Till Dawn horror movies with many of these titles like Bride of the Gorilla thrown in with the Terror or whatever they could get.
The double, triple, quadruple features. Yeah.
The Devil's Reign.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you think that with like things happening in 2020, it's kind of like a good way to distance, but like, you don't even have to leave your car. You don't have to go and sit next to other weird people.
Think of how great it would have been during the COVID crisis,
But, that's distancing.
Well, it was a thing. You sit in your own car, which I don't know. I like the old movie theater atmosphere, but
yes,
I had a lot of fun at the drive-in, bringing the haunted bus up to the.
It's like a totally different experience, like camping in a movie.
Well, I remember one time we brought the haunted bus to the Kino Outdoor, and with Jack Nicholson was playing. And to our left, there was a raging thunderstorm going on, and to our right was clear sky with a full moon.
Wow.
During so any movie that I will automatically, any movie that I ever saw at a theater, including of course the outdoor, I would always remember that movie when I'm watching it, where I saw it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, come on, the stretch that's there with Wolf. You mean Wolf is going to actually have Michelle Pfeiffer for a girlfriend? Jack Nicholson is going to. I mean, I suppose. I mean, I guess it was a leftover from Witches of Eastwick because he made the rounds.
No, definitely.
I don't even know if that movie's readily available, but what I can tell you, if you find it on VHS, it'll be red because for whatever reason the VHS tapes all have a red tint to them of that movie.
Weird.
I've had a few different copies and it's been like the same problem.
Interesting.
But that was a bit, another one with Cher and Jack Nicholson and the funniness of that movie, and then at the end, what does he turn into? Some kind of like stubby little bumblebee or something? It was just this weird scene.
It's like The Fly.
It's like that weird episode of Star Trek with the witch people, and then at the end they look like pipe cleaner monsters.
Oh my God.
You know, this is what they really are. They just gave us the illusion of being people. Now Star Trek, that was a little out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Very,
very awesome. Very just so much campiness to it. But,
oh yes, yes, and we love the camp here on Crimson Theater, of course.
You've got to. It comes along with the territory. And the good movies are just so expensive to show, or YouTube or copyright laws, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
I got stung for Plan 9 from Outer Space, and that's public domain.
Wow.
But that's YouTube. YouTube and Facebook do nothing to help and support horror hosts, even though I guess our video finally got 10,000 views, the intro video, which was a number we'll see where we get behind that. But of course, Little Miss Hui Futu comes along and becomes world famous in 2 days for
Walk 2.
Yeah, huh?
God. And a round of applause.
That just shows you what the internet is capable, and what one little thing you say can make you famous, even though I don't know if that's the kind of fame we want.
If it's what the people want, it's what the people want.
Do the people know that's what they want?
No.
Has
People
everybody
never know
ever
that's
asked
what
for
they want.
a hat
shoved in
tube
their
before?
faces. Yeah, no. Well, hey, I can think of a few.
Bones, damn it.
Damn it.
Anyway, you get right back into it. Now it's the exciting conclusion of Bride of the Monster. Bride of the Gorilla.
Yes.
There's a bride and a monster that looks like a gorilla. Whatever.
Something.
See ya.
Dina.
He won't be back tonight. Tell Van Huysen there's no use waiting.
But what's he doing in the jungle at nighttime? It's suicide.
It's suicide for me, too, waiting for him.
It's silly. I can't concentrate. 10 o'clock. I think we should send the servants out to find him. Something must have happened to him.
It's no use. He won't be back until late.
Then you tell Barney if he wants to sell his plantation to see me at my house. Tell him this is no way to behave, running away without an excuse.
Mrs. Chavez can sign the papers. She's the legal owner.
She could?
My husband's the boss in this house.
Well, I wish my wife could hear that. You tell Barney to show up tomorrow or our deal is off.
They left.
They left day before yesterday.
I've changed my mind. I'm not going to sell the plantation. I like it here.
Barney.
No use arguing. My mind's made up.
I won't stay here.
If you want to leave, I won't hold you.
Barney, you've been poisoned. Be sure of it.
Poisoned? He's been lying to you. Oh, don't tell me different. I've had my eyes open.
Why should he?
He's in love with you.
There's nothing between Viet and me, and you know it.
Doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not happy here. I'm happy out there in the jungle.
Barney, please.
Why shouldn't I tell you? Why shouldn't I? Out there in the jungle. Out there, everything's different. I seem changed. My hands, my eyes. I can see further than I've ever seen before. The smallest leaf on top of the highest tree. I can climb as if I had wings. I can smell 1,000 smells. Flowers, plants, the animals. I'm strong, powerful. The jungle's my house. It belongs to me.
Barney, listen to me, please. It's all in your mind. Barney, please, listen. I love you.
I can hear voices. Voices miles away. The animals talk to me, and I understand them. I understand them. They're afraid of me. Afraid of me.
Yes, I know. Bonnie, go to sleep. You're tired.
Tired? Tired? Yes, I'm tired.
I'm tired too. Very tired. Please, go to sleep.
I will. Till the night. When it's night, I'll show you the jungle. Then you'll know I'm telling the truth. What do you want?
We cannot go on working for you.
Why not?
It isn't safe. There's an animal around. We are afraid. We almost caught it in a trap, but it got away. Now none of my men will go to the jungle anymore, as long as it is alive.
What does it look like?
It is... We don't know. We just came to get our pay. We're going to move away from here to Edward Sommer's place.
Sure. You can have your pay. I won't stop you.
Yours, 2 weeks' pay. That's all.
Okay.
Your hands.
What's the matter with my hands?
It looks like dry blood.
Drink it down.
What is it?
Take it, it'll calm you.
I'd be frightened if I weren't so unhappy.
He thinks he's a jungle animal. What kind of animal?
He says he can kill. He was rational up until a few days ago.
You must face the truth, Tina. There's no sense in running away from it. I can't quite make it out. He'd act that way if he'd been poisoned. These natives have many ways of driving a man out of his mind. There are drugs that cause hallucinations, schizophrenia, manic depression.
But who would want to poison him? And why?
You know why.
I don't.
Taro thinks that Barney murdered Klaas.
Viet.
He's convinced of it.
And you?
I'm certain. Barney killed Klaas, and it was no accident. It was premeditated murder. You don't want to see it because you're in love with him.
I am in love with him.
He has to be put away. He's dangerous. It might be his conscience that's driving him out of his mind. He likes the jungle. Believing that he's an animal, he thinks he has the right to kill. Sooner or later, he'll turn against you.
I'm not afraid.
But don't you understand? As long as you are alive, you'll remind him of his crime.
I told you. I'm not afraid.
It's my duty as a doctor to have him placed behind bars.
Your duty or your desire? You want to get rid of Barney. You're in love with me, aren't you, Viet?
Yes. Since the first day Klaas brought you to his house.
I'm sorry. Don't you understand that I can't live without Barney? We belong together. He's my husband. For better or for worse.
The servants have run away.
They have?
All the workers have quit. Everyone's gone. Why don't you leave?
I can't.
Sure you can. You're free.
That's what Viet told me. That I can go wherever I want. That I'm free.
He's right.
I told him that I belonged to you. And only death can part us.
Death can't touch me. I just started to live. You don't know the jungle.
Now I do. And I hate it. I hate it more than any woman that would take you away from me.
What else did your doctor tell you?
He said you killed Klaus.
Did he?
Tara thinks so, too.
I don't care. They won't find me.
I will. I'm going with you.
You wouldn't like it out there. You haven't got the eyes to see or the ears to hear. It wouldn't protect you. You hate it. That's why it hates you.
Don't go. Let's stay here. Don't go tonight. We'll go tomorrow together. Remember the night you said you loved me? You said you'd always love me, always. You said you'd always remind me that you loved me.
Barney!
How do you like my jungle?
Oh, let's go back, Barney, please.
I'll never go back. Never.
Stop.
Go on. Why don't you shoot? You can't miss. But you won't make me go back. You and I don't belong together anymore. Goodbye, Dina.
Barney!
Dina, where are you? Dina! How long? Lorena!
There's not a soul around. Servants must have gone too. I expected that as soon as I found this.
What is it?
It's the Pays de Gouin plant. Al Long had it all the time. It's the poison she used on Barney Chavez. She wanted to take the law in her own hands.
Dina must have followed Barney into the jungle.
Right.
Well, how can we find them at nighttime?
I know my jungle, Doctor. Out there, my senses are those of an animal. Come.
Come here. Over there. It's in there.
Like something that has been haunting the world for millions of years, the jungle has risen to punish Barney Chavez for his crime.
Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's horrifying melodrama,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know.
Bride of the Gorilla.
Bride of the Gorilla.
No, we didn't see that, like later on, did they have kids? Was he an abuser? That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It could have been a Lifetime television movie for women,
Right.
The ones where the lady, she's already come from a bad background. She meets Mr. Right and then finds out, like, he's completely poisonous and toxic. Yeah.
Heart of gold, and then turns out to be like a serial killer.
That's a darn good role, though, for a guy to play. Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. Very Patrick Bateman-esque. Yeah.
Okay. There's plenty of them coming down for Christmas.
Yeah.
Which will be right around the corner. And Halloween season, of course,
Yes.
will be here first, but that's coming around. Summer is basically Halloween Eve. They say September, but now summer, the stuff's showing up in the stores, and the people are already sharing what the Home Creepo is selling.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get some nicer stuff this year, but
More 50-foot skeletons.
yeah, that's right. Those people complaining about all the Halloweenies out there getting excited about Halloween coming already. Well, you know what? That's payback for 100 degrees and muggy and humid.
Yeah, and keeping your Christmas.
I mean, who isn't going to want to have a nice, cool evening after these summer nights?
Yeah, and summer is spooky too. You've got storm season, the thunderstorms that roll in. Tornadoes are scary.
Some of that stuff that goes on in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you have a horrifying week. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. That was supposed to be the end of it.